Hey, what is up everyone? Mike here, and it's time for the Monday Q&A. I want to thank everyone that submitted questions last week. I do appreciate it. If you have questions you want to ask me, leave it down in the comments section and I'll get to it next week. The first question comes from Tina. She said, I noticed all the work you put into the backdrop. Why do you do this? Hey Tina, great question. The reason I do this is because I like to be surrounded with things I enjoy. All this stuff behind me are samples from video game companies, merchandise companies, books I've read, books I have. It's just things I enjoy to have around me. I love comic books, I love video games, I love Minecraft and Batman, and there's a Walter White poster up there. I love Breaking Bad. So for me, it's about surrounding yourself with things you enjoy. Whether or not they're related to the video doesn't matter to me. I just enjoy the backdrop. It doesn't really affect you watching because the information is still the same. Gary asks, how do you package video game lots that aren't in the box for FBA? Hey Gary, so this is kind of a important thing to note. When you ship to FBA, all that matters is it gets to the warehouse safe. So I usually put consoles in some kind of bag, poly bag, label them, and make sure that they don't get separated from the cords or controllers or whatever's in the bundle. And then I just bubble wrap the hell out of it in the box, and once it gets there, they'll worry about it. If you get something to the warehouse safely, and then it's damaged by one of their workers or someone else, that's on them. They actually refund you in full for it. So what you should concern yourself with is the shipping process and shouldn't really worry about anything after that. Will says, I'd really like to know about your process from start to finish. And he also asks how many hours a day I work. Okay, so Will, first of all, there's a video about my process from start to finish. As there's a video for almost every question that people typically ask. If you go look at my older videos, I should have an exact video about my process. Maybe I'll do an updated one soon. I have some big stuff I'm really working on. When I say that, people think I'm just like dicking around and I'm lying and leading them on. I guess that's really not the case. I really have some stuff I'm working on, and if it all goes through, trust me, there'll be such an updated video. You guys will enjoy it so much, but we gotta wait till we get to that point. I don't really say what I'm working on or what I'm gonna do anymore because all that leads to is disappointment if I don't get it done and people get mad. So instead, I'll tell you I'm working on stuff. If it happens, there'll be a much bigger updated process video that'll involve a warehouse and all kinds of stuff. So as far as the hours a day I work, it varies. Usually I take almost every Saturday off. Sundays I don't do a lot of work, but I do the live show. Monday through Friday I work as much as I feel I need to work. I just stay busy. For me, I probably work close to 10 hours a day throughout the week between videos, questions, online sales, FBA shipments, communication with business people. I'm pretty busy. I get a lot of emails, a lot of messages. People don't get this. If they don't get a response to their message right away, they get all mad. You're one of 300 people to message me every week. There's so many, I have so many messages. It's ridiculous. So don't get mad if you're not singled out and responded to right away. Hakima asks, Michael, as a chef, what was your favorite dish? Hakima, thanks for asking a question other than business. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the fact that you're asking about when I was a chef. Now, this is a great question. Obviously, every chef has their favorite dish. So let's talk about my two favorite dishes. One while I was at work and one that I would make at home today. The restaurant I worked at had the highest, utmost, best ingredients you can have. Honest to God. We served all local farm food, very fresh. I knew all the farmers. Really great business. They really support the community. I love it. My favorite dish, believe it or not, at Fire was the grass-fed burger. Now you guys are really a burger? But this is not just a burger. We had house-made buns from a pastry chef, homemade cheese from the Amish community. We had grass-fed beef from, rural Ohio. We made house-made sauce to go on that burger. It is just the perfect burger. And people don't get it when I say that, people say stuff like, oh, it's just ground beef. No, it's not. Let me tell you right now, the difference between local organic grass-fed ground beef and your supermarket ground beef is so absurdly different that it will blow your mind. I'm not kidding you when I tell you this is the best burger you'll ever have in your life. It's that good. And I used to love having burgers from Fire, or even the Cats Club when I worked there. They were really good. And the quality ingredients really make the difference. And people don't believe that. I'm telling you right now, I've had a lot of ground beef in my life. There's a huge difference. And then for my favorite dish at home, I'm a pretty simple eater at home. I make some fancy stuff once in a while, but I love pasta. So my absolute favorite dish at home is homemade pasta Alfredo. Like, the sauce is made from scratch with like really good grilled chicken and like al dente noodles. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people overcook noodles and they use canned sauce and like all this stuff. I love homemade stuff, so I will make everything homemade if I can. Aside from pasta, because it's a giant pain in the ass to make just for one dish, unless you're going to make enough for like the month and freeze it or whatever. But that's my favorite dish at home is just chicken Alfredo. I love it. And I love any pasta. I'll eat pasta with like butter and just fresh tomatoes and grated cheese, or pasta with meat sauce. Like, I will make pasta every day of the week. Unfortunately, pasta is not super healthy, but I do love it. And the last question comes from the clothing guy. He says, I see you don't have any items on eBay anymore. Are you going all in on FBA, and do you think FBA is a better future than eBay? Hey, first of all, thanks for the question. Thanks for clicking the links and actually looking. I do appreciate it. This has nothing to do with me going all. First of all, if I do something, I try to go all in on it anyway. So if I'm doing FBA, I really try to focus on that and eBay. It can be done. And if I'm not doing it, then I don't make an excuse. I just didn't work hard enough. So I'm already all in FBA. I'm trying to grow my FBA business big time. That's part of the thing I'm working on that I talked about at the beginning of the video, which I'll update more once it happens. But my eBay listings are down for a couple reasons. A, I have terrible sales on eBay the last 2 months. Like, between the 2 months, $600, and my fees are like $200 and something. So over like 30% in fees. So I pulled my listings down because they're costing me way too much money for not selling. I'm reevaluating how everything's listed. I'm going to list the things I think need to go up and some of the newer stuff I thrifted, and then from there I'm going to auction off the remaining stuff. And the reason I'm doing this is just so listings aren't sitting. I think one of my issues is I'm not listing consistently. I don't have auctions up, so I'm not having consistent sales. And if you don't have like 1,000, 2,000 fixed price listings, you're not going to have super consistent sales on them. So I'm just rethinking how I'm doing eBay right now. I'm not done on eBay or anything. As far as the future part, I think FBA has a great future, and I think eBay could have a great future if they change things. They're not listening to people. They're making bad decisions. So I don't want to say eBay is going down, because that's like far from the case at this moment. But eBay is not on a good road unless they change where they're steering right now. Alright everyone, I want to thank you again for the questions. I do appreciate it. If you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you guys tomorrow with the top 5. Make sure you leave questions down below if you want them answered.